What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here with The Distance. Got a video for you guys today. Prediction: Paulie Malignaggi versus Amir Khan. Takes place May 15th. I believe it's in Madison Square Garden for the WBA Light Welterweight Championship. Overall, really good fight. It's gonna, as I think I mentioned, it's gonna be on HBO. Pretty good undercard. I'm gonna have that prediction. Probably tomorrow, more than likely, maybe today. Who knows? But overall, really good fight. But there's two things that I think of with this fight. I do believe a victory for Malignaggi means more than a victory over Malignaggi for Khan. A victory for Malignaggi over Khan, I think, means a little bit more than a victory of Khan over Malignaggi. But overall, it is a good fight for Amir Khan and a good fight for Paulie Malignaggi. I do believe Paulie Malignaggi deserved, this shot, but I do believe that this more than likely is Malignaggi's last. I think it's his last shot. And more so, compared to Khan, I do believe Khan, if he lost the fight, would get another shot because I think that probably because he's a big attraction out in the UK, and there's a lot of people who are big fans, and he has a following. And Malignaggi has a following as well, kind of a cult following of hardcore boxing fans. But Amir Khan, it seems to me that he has a whole country behind him. But anyway, on to the fight. Malignaggi, we all know, has problems with the right hand. Primarily throws the left jab. Primarily what you see 90% of the time for Paulie Malignaggi is left jabs. And he practically jabs his way to victory. He only has like 5 knockouts in his career, and all those are early in his career. And Amir Khan, who a lot of people say has a suspect chin, is not, more than likely isn't going to have to worry about that. But at the same time, it's what you don't see coming that hurts the most. And in the fight against Diaz back in December, I was a little surprised that Malignaggi actually somewhat stunned him, but he didn't try to take him out. And with Amir Khan, Paulie Malignaggi has to keep his range from Amir Khan. He has to keep range from him. He has to use his left jab primarily, as he usually does, and use that left jab, fire it from different angles, fire it from all kinds of angles, because I think that can neutralize the speed of Amir Khan. And I think that's the number one thing that Malignaggi needs to do. He needs to neutralize that speed. And he can neutralize that speed staying on the outside, using the left jab, using that jab from different angles. And Malignaggi does a good job of using that left jab from angles. And other than that, he does want to slip in the right hand at times, and he does want to have a really good performance. He wants, I think, the whole entire fight, he primarily wants to use that left jab, fire it from angles, and he wants a lot of movement. And he doesn't want to allow Amir Khan to get his way in and fire off combinations. He doesn't want Amir Khan firing combinations on him, because Amir Khan throws sometimes 5-6 punches at a time. On average, I'd say about 4 or 5 punches at a time. So pretty much to avoid that, he wants range. He wants that jab from angles. He wants a lot of movement. He wants a lot of angles. He wants to come out of breaks through angles in kind of an angular motion. And Amir Khan, and I think that with all that, I think it could confuse Amir Khan, more than likely frustrate him if he does that. If he can use his veteranship, use his boxing ability, and pretty much fire off with accuracy. If you look early in the Malignaggi's career, like maybe 2004, Paulie Malignaggi, looked really good. He had very sharp combinations, very good accuracy, slip shots, and came up top and fire off with the overhand right, and it wouldn't hurt his opponents, but he looked good doing it. And that's pretty much how he won. He won fights by basically boxing, and against Amir Khan, he has to box, and he has to box very well. He doesn't want Khan to get off, and and he has to keep the range. And and really, and I mentioned Paulie early in his career because he seems to me to be a different fighter than he was in 2004. And this is before he went over to Buddy McGirt. And he's saying that he's reverting to his old style. And I think the old style wins this fight. If he could, as I mentioned, outside, angles, and not even exchanging with Amir Khan. That's primarily his way to victory. Slipping shots and staying low as well. He does need to stay low and kind of crouch low a bit in this fight. Amir Khan, good hand speed, good power, primarily throws straight shots, and off those straight shots he throws very short hooks on the inside. Amir Khan has pretty much do the same thing Ricky Hatton did. If you looked at the Ricky Hatton fight in November of 2008, Ricky Hatton had to box his way in, and Malignaggi didn't have an answer for that. And I'm not sure if he's going to have an answer for that in this fight. Amir Khan has the hand speed to pressure Malignaggi, and he has the hand speed to box his way in. And primarily that's what he has to do in this fight. He has to box his way in. He has to use the hand speed. He has to, and on top of that, I do believe that Malignaggi does commit the feints as well. Actually, both fighters commit the feints now that I think about it. But with Amir Khan, I think he commits a little more than Malignaggi, but I do think he needs to throw a few feints so he can, so he can make Malignaggi kind of come forward, and Amir Khan can get his shots off, and he has good hand speed. And a lot of his shots they don't land, but the ones that do land are meaningful. And he did prove that in the Kotelnik fight that he can go to full 12, and he did look a bit revived in that fight compared to how he looked at 135. He looked good against Kotelnik. He looked good against Salida, and against Malignaggi, I think and under the tutelage of Freddie Roach, he's gotten much better. Has a higher guard, but Amir Khan definitely needs to pressure him coming forward using the hand speed. His guard's about this high, and he comes forward, and he has pretty good footwork. And he comes forward. He starts off with a left jab, and then probably a right hand, straight right, and he does I'd say about two of each. And after he does two of those, he starts coming in with right hooks and left hooks, and then he comes out, and then he goes back after doing that. In this fight, that's what he wants to do, but at the same time, he does want to change up the variation of shots. He does want to change up the rhythm of shots that he throws. So in this fight, maybe we could see a straight left jab or straight left hand followed up with the maybe right hook, straight right, followed up with the left hook, and then more straight shots. But primarily in this fight, he does have to focus on boxing in, using his boxing ability to get inside, getting outside, using his boxing ability on the outside as well. Every good literary tale has a protagonist and an antagonist. Paulie Malignaggi, as of recent, has been playing the antagonist, and Amir Khan, to a lot of British fans, is the protagonist. And people are looking at him to be a possible icon someday, possibly for British boxing. And Malignaggi, I believe if he loses this fight, is more than likely on his way out. Because I think that's going to be his final chance in at least the light welterweight division. I'm going to go with the protagonist in this fight. I'm going to go with Amir Khan in this fight, and I'm going to say Amir Khan should win this fight by a unanimous decision. I think the hand speed, the overall speed and athleticism of Amir Khan, I think gets him this fight. That and boxing ability, I think he'll outwork, and he doesn't have anything to worry about with Malignaggi not having any power to hurt him. So he's going to take the risk. He's going to get inside. He's going to throw. But anyway, that was